Hey everybody, my name is Oscar Hernandez. I am from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm currently a law school prospect student, and I'm also an alum of Arizona State University. Thank you for joining me on my Project Knowledge Spotlight video. I think my biggest difficulty while applying to college was simply not knowing what I was doing. My parents, we were new to the system as immigrants, so they had no idea what it meant to apply to college. I feel like I was embarrassed to ask my friends because some of them kind of like had it together and it seems like they knew what they were doing and they were applying early and they were taking whatever test they needed to do. And I wasn't doing any of that. And I remember the moment I felt that pressure later on, in high school, like I remember figuring out how, because I'm a DACA recipient, I wasn't going to get like in-state tuition, or I wasn't going to get whatever scholarship I earned because of my academics. So that was really hard to swallow in the moment. I think like the way that I overcame all of that was just like I don't know, a little bit of like reflecting what my family has gone through, which is like, hey, we entered this new space as immigrants and we have no idea what we're doing, but we're just going to keep trying to make the right decisions, and over time we're hoping that it will pay off. And that's exactly what worked for me. I figured that like, hey, maybe I can't go straight to university, but I can go to community college, try my best there, and hope that I can get some other scholarship, so that way I can afford, at the time it was out of state, but I can just afford university. And one thing led to another, but I think it's just the determination that a student needs to have in order to want to be successful, that will allow you to reach those goals that you set yourself to. So continue the fight, and that's what worked for me, and I'm sure it's going to work for you too. My experience as a first generation underrepresented student, I think at the beginning, I kind of realized how disconnected the general population is from maybe the struggles that sometimes certain students will face. I know that for myself, I was taking a sociology class. We were talking about immigration, and then the professor like kind of like asked the class like, "Hey, how do immigrants impact your daily life, one way or another?" And like in a class of 20 students, like including myself, like, well, none of them could answer that. I mean, for me, it was obvious. And I thought it was obvious to them, just like in the state of Arizona, we, like the service industry depends on immigrants so much. The food, where it comes from, the people that are picking the food, from all types of work. If you own a house, who are the people you're going to hire to do whatever thing you need done. So, immigrants play a huge role in our economy, in our country. And the fact that these people couldn't acknowledge that was shocking and very scary. So that was kind of like a new world that I was entering. Just because like I thought, because these were college educated people, that wasn't gonna be necessarily the case. I think another experience was just like realizing that in many cases I need to stand out more than other people, because I depend on scholarships and certain opportunities that will allow me to continue my studies, because sometimes I just didn't have the advantage that some of these students had, like some merit-based scholarship that they received just for being a U.S. citizen, or simply just like I knew that because I didn't come from a family that had that experience of a U.S. college degree. I knew that everything was going to be by my own, even when it came to living out there in Tempe at ASU and figuring that out and how to pay for all that. But we did it, right? So it is possible, but it will take a lot of work. And I think it's part of the experience of being a first generation student, but it will make you stronger and more prepared for, I guess, adulthood. Well, it's really important, like the type of professional relationships that you're going to make in college, from your professors, from people that you might do like a fellowship or a program with, supervisors that you might have an internship. All of those people are obviously very important. You're going to need them for letters of recommendation. You're going to need them for networking. You're going to need them for a lot of reasons. But in college, considering that you're going through a lot of changes in your personal life, in finances, whatever it may be, you're going to see how the friends that you have around you are going to be very critical, not only for obviously like friend support, emotional support, but I'm talking about like they start shaping you, and you they become an influence in your life. So for me, when I was at ASU, I was able to find other DACA recipients, and they became some of my closest friends because we started a student organization named Undocumented Students for Education Equity. And they made, my 2 years at ASU a blast, but also made it a very passionate 2 years, years that I look back with a lot of pride and a lot of excitement, because I know that that was a point in my life that has influenced a lot of my current decisions professionally and what I continue to aspire to be. So make sure you find friends that you're comfortable with, but friends that also challenge you to continue to be a better person. I think what made college worth it for me was simply the fact that I realized that my parents' like American dream was simply for me to just walk across the stage and get my diploma. Um, but I think for me, college was worth it because it opened my eyes on so many things. I mean, you're at an age where you're going to be going through a lot of experiences that will shape you for the rest of your life. And I think that's exactly what college did to me, in the sense that I feel like I now realize that I'm happy with my parents being fulfilled, that now I have a degree. But now I feel like I've become so much more inclined in politics and policy, in just making a better world. So I feel like because of that, like my American dream now is like to simply be out there helping people, transforming our communities, our country. And like I feel like if I hadn't gone to college and been involved with certain projects and just like campaigns and even people, like I mentioned, it would have not worked out in my favor like it has. So I think college is a great opportunity. It is very much what you make it. So my advice would be to always push yourselves, always try to like do something better, and just don't stop. Just keep going. Things will get better. And the best part of it all is that eventually, if you put work in, you'll get those results eventually. So they will come. Just trust in your abilities and in yourself. And I think you'll soon realize that you did an amazing job and you're going to be really proud of it.